Well, welcome viewers to the channel. Dr. JWAU Pro Bricky bringing you the post-budget outline that I've come up with, the moral leakage right through it, the 2026 budget, when the books expose the moral rot within this government. And the 2026 Australian budget is not just a financial statement, it's a moral x-ray. Beneath the numbers sits something more disturbing. A government class managing decline while dressing it in the language of reform, fairness, comparison, and responsibility. And this is not merely a budget problem. It is a conscience problem. The catastrophe is not only deficit, debt, migration pressure, tax change, or NDIS restraint. The catastrophe is that political leadership now uses administrative language to cover up their moral leakage. Broken promises become adjustments, tax grabs become fairness, disability restraint becomes sustainability, and population pressure becomes skills planning. Public burden becomes shared responsibility, and that is how moral decay enters government, not through one scandal, but through repeated verbal laundering. Number one, promises broken as political theft. Broken promises as political theft. The budget, contrary and controversy around negative gearing and capital gains tax is not only about property, it's about voter consent. And when a government wins trust under one set of assurances and then governs through another set of policies, the moral issue is deception by delay. And the voter is treated as a citizen to be honoured, but as an obstacle to be managed until power is secured. And the moral leakage, viewers, is the lie does not begin when the policy changes. It begins when political language becomes deliberately elastic enough to survive betrayal. And this is not merely a broken promise. This is consent taken under one impression and governed under another. Point number two. Housing policy without repentance. Australia's housing crisis did not fall from the sky. It was cultivated through years of migration pressure, supply failure, planning paralysis, infrastructure lag, and political cowardice. And now the same political class that helped create the crisis claims moral authority to fix it. And that, viewers, is an out-and-out insult. The renter suffers like never before. The buyer delays. The family shrinks in its hopes. The worker moves further away. The young adult remains trapped at home. And then government arrives with a headline solution and calls itself compassionate. The moral leakage here is a government cannot damage shelter stability and then use the pain as justification for moral control. And when politicians break the roof, they should not expect applause for selling buckets. Number three, immigration pressure as managed denial. The budget's immigration numbers expose another moral contradiction. Australians are told pressure is easing, but population strain remains embedded in housing, roads, hospitals, rentals, schools, wages, and social cohesion. Migration itself is not the moral failure. Political dishonesty around capacity is. Viewers, a nation has the right to ask, can we house the people we bring? Can we treat them decently once they arrive? Can our hospitals, roads, schools, and wages absorb the increase? Can working Australians survive the pressure? Well, viewers, the moral leakage of this is when government imports demand faster than it builds capacity, it is not compassion. It is administrative irresponsibility disguised as openness. You cannot call it humanitarian if both immigrants and citizens are pushed into the same overcrowded, dysfunctional pressure system. Number 4, the NDIS savings and the compassion mask. Excuse me, viewers. The NDIS savings shock is morally explosive because it exposes the difference between compassion language and budget behaviour. The state speaks softly about dignity, inclusion and care. Then the books reveal restraint, illegitimate tightening, eligibility tightening, projected savings and reduced future participation. Reform may be necessary, waste may be real, fraud may be correction and need correction. But the moral question remains, why does compassion become negotiable when the spreadsheet turns red? And the moral leakage of this is a government reveals its soul by where it looks for savings first, and it's hit NDIS. So when compassion becomes a budget line, the vulnerable start hearing the footsteps. Number 5, debt deficit and general extraction. The deficit is not only an accounting figure, debt is delayed taxation. It is today's political comfort changed to tomorrow's citizen cost. Now, and it's charged out to the citizens as well. Now, every billion borrowed becomes a claim against people who did not vote for the decision and did not consent to the spending and may never receive the benefit. And that is intergenerational moral transfer. And the moral leakage of this is, viewers, debt allows politicians to buy present approval, but it results in future pain. A government can borrow money, but it also borrows from unborn trust. Viewers, point number 6, the deeper downfall revelation of all of this. The downfall revelation is this: Australia is not only being mismanaged financially by these politicians, it is being governed through moral substitution. Truth is replaced with messaging. Responsibility is replaced by branding. Burden is renamed fairness. Failure is renamed reform. And decline is renamed transition. And this is how nations lose confidence before they lose solvency. In closing, viewers, the 2026 budget is catastrophic because it exposes a leadership class increasingly comfortable with moral leakage and decay and collapse, and they do not simply spend tax, borrow, cut and import pressure. They rename the consequences until the public becomes exhausted enough to accept them, and that's where Australia's at. A nation does not collapse only when the books fail. It begins collapsing when the people no longer trust the moral language used to explain the books, and this government has no morality bank left at all. I'm Dr. JWAU, Pro Bricky Channel, and bye for now.